But the five must direct mail campaigns for investors, okay? Really, the idea is to make direct mail like clockwork. The reason people fail is due to lack of strategy and confidence with mail. I want to make sure that you have confidence in knowing, like, hey, what the stuff I'm sending is stuff that needs to be sent mail. Not really a question on like, what is my ROI going to be and all that kind of stuff. You got to get that kind of like stuff out of your head, and you got to start focusing more on like these people I'm not going to get in any other way. So this is the only other way I'm going to get a hold of them. Okay. So the first thing is leads get mail. Okay. I know that for some of you, this should be obvious. Okay. But you need to be sending mail to your leads. It's it is the number one most important direct mail campaign that you could be sending right now. Why is my pen not working? There it is. Okay. It is the number one most important. So in Sift, basically you basically have a filter. Okay. And you're going to filter by property status. And you should have all your leads as there's two different things that this breaks down into. Unqualified. Hold on, this is too big of a font. It's fucking with me. Okay. You have unqualified and qualified. There we go. Okay. Unqualified, qualified. Okay. Your qualified lead statuses are cold, warm, hot. Your unqualified status should be like new lead, and then something in between these two, because unqualified breaks down in two more things. Okay. Contacted and non-contacted. Okay. Meaning like or attempted or not attempted. So a new lead that's come in is brand new, and then you've attempted to reach them, but they didn't answer, right? And so that would be the no contact new lead. Okay. This is important because over time, you want to track how long does it take to go from here to here. So that would be your lead manager's speed. Okay. And then how long does it go from here to here? This would be your to qualified percentage. This is absolutely critical. And when I mean absolutely critical, I mean probably the most critical KPI like in your business. You cannot you cannot like you cannot know how many leads you need to generate without knowing this number. Okay? This is a very critical number, okay? So anyway, you want to send mail to your leads every single week. So you're going to do a property status, all right, that you're filtering by new lead, no contact, new lead, cold, warm, and hot. And then, which is essentially obviously all your leads. And all you're going to do every single month is send mail to them. That's it. Okay. So you're just going to filter by them, select them, send mail. You're just going to do that at the start of every single month. On the first of every single month, you click on the filter. Okay. And you send mail. So that's a really easy one. I mean, it's pretty simple. With that one, you could literally you should have a filter for like qualified lead follow-ups. Just do qualified lead follow-ups and then just remove the task filter. And that's the same thing. So all you're going to do is you're going to filter by all those, you're going to send mail. Let me tell you why this is critical though. Everybody here is aware of 10 DLC ATP, right? So the way 10 DLC ATP works is it has a 90-day window on correct numbers. So, or on phone numbers. If a seller has not reached out to you and communicate with you in a 90-day window, and on 91 days, you call them and they are upset that you called, you've now are no longer compliant in 10 DC ATP. Okay. Because you're outside 90 days. If they call you within a 90-day window, that 90-day window resets. So let's just say they call you on the 89th day because you sent direct mail piece. You now have another 90 days that you can call them legally for without recourse. Okay. And so that's important. And that's one of the reasons to send mail. The other reason to send mail to them is how many times have you called a cold lead or a warm lead when you call on your task day and they don't pick up the phone? So then you add a task to call in another 45 days from now, but then you go to do that and they end up selling it to somebody else, right? Because they didn't pick up the phone when you tried to call them when the follow-up was due. And so sending mail to your leads is important for the sake to cover your ass so that they have the ability for them to call inbound. Second is to stay top of mind, right? So that they remember that you're there so that you don't, if you forget to call or your tasks become overdue or whatever, you're still following up, right? So this is really big. The really nice thing about this one too is you can budget this very easily for the year. That's a very easy one to budget. And if you get one seller that calls inbound from your mail, because of your and you convert them, it pays for it for the year, right? And so it's worth sending it to have it there because for most of us, it's going to be very fractional. Okay. So sending mail to your leads, really, really important. What I do in my business is I just, in all of my mail campaigns, I don't suppress yet. Yeah, you send mail to to all statuses. So you're going to send mail to all these. How I do this in my business is I just don't remove leads from any of my mail campaigns. So my rehash campaigns that I send every single month to my first market, and even in the challenge, it's taught this way. You don't suppress out leads from your mail, right? On your rehash campaigns. I just don't remove them. So I'll go to send my rehash campaigns and it'll show cold lead, warm lead, hot leads in there. I just send mail every single month to them in my rehash campaigns. So they're already, I try to make it to where I don't have to send an extra campaign. It's just automatically being sent in the shit I'm already doing, right? I just simplify the process. Just like with my cold leads that, or my non-contacted new leads that ultimately, like, I have like 12 attempts on them and they haven't picked up the phone yet. We just end up moving them to not interested since we have a not interested campaign happening already too, right? Why create a whole nother process when there's already a process that's hitting those people? So they just become not interested. Since you're sending mail to all group, why categorize them? I'm saying leads to get mail. I'm categorizing here as one of the things because not everybody does first to market. And not everybody is first to market the way that I teach it in the challenge. They do it their own way. And so I just want to make sure you understand that if you're not sending mail at all, and not everybody sends mail to their first market either, okay, when you should be. At minimum, if you're not sending mail to your prospects, send mail to your leads once you generate them, okay, because you don't convert every one of your leads. Again, can anybody guess what my percentage is on this number right here? Leads to qualified. And I would say we have a really dialed in lead management process. It's 50%, pretty close to 50%, right around 50%. Sometimes it's high, sometimes it's lower. Of all the leads we generate from our callers, just specifically for lead generated from cold calling, if it's or PPC or Carrot website, it's not leads from inbound from direct mail or inbound phone calls, obviously, because they're getting qualified right away by a lead manager, right? But things that are coming in from an external source, like a caller, which is pretty much most people, okay, it is going to be um, around 50%. Okay. So that means 50% of those other people, mail is the way that I can get in front of them again because they're not picking up the phone again. Okay. So again, it's really important to do. The next one is going to be skip trace no numbers. And ideally, at minimum, and this is why I put it at minimum. At minimum, if you skip trace something in two different locations, you need to send mail. If you skip trace in two different locations and you have not got phone numbers back, you need to send mail. For anybody doing first market, you should be skip tracing in two locations essentially right off the bat. Okay. Meaning REI Sift, right? And then another location. Remember, for those that don't know, we're building the first ever skip trace marketplace. And so you'll be able to skip trace in more than one location right through Sift right away. Most of the places that are also going to be available in Sift are places you are already using, which is amazing. So you can just do that right in Sift. But in any case, if you don't get phone numbers back in two different locations, you need to send mail to those people. This has been one of my most lucrative direct mail campaigns. To date, skip trace. I have a few examples of I've sent anywhere between 100 and 200, records and generated 80 to 150, let's say 150K plus or minus on those, like in two different occasions, specifically right off the top of my head. Just because it was data sets that I've skip traced in two different locations, I sent the mail to them, in the byproduct of that ended up being six figures in revenue. And it's not going to happen every single time, but it just proves that those people are motivated and they're no one's getting in front of them. Okay. And so really important. So skip trace in two locations. So how do we find these people in Sift? So it's really easy, right? Your parameters and others filter, param and others. Okay, it's going to be numbers, no, skip traced, yes. And then you're going to want to have the two different a tag for your REI Sift skipped or wherever else, and whatever that second location is, X location. Okay. And this would be an and tag, not a or, right? So if it's skip trace, if it doesn't have phone numbers, it's been skip trace and it's been skip trace and tagged with those two different locations, then I'm going to go ahead and send mail to them. Okay. So I'm going to go through these in my account when we're done here if we have time, but I just want to show you that. I'll just build them in my account. Okay. So the third one, I didn't write on here because I was going to write it as we went here, but the third one is going to be unresponsive. Okay. Unresponsive follow-ups. Okay. So if you're, again, I'm saying this, if you're not already sending mail to people that you're not reaching every single month, let's just say you're calling and you're primarily cold calling. Right now, you don't want to cold call more than 6 rehash campaigns. Okay. Do not cold call for more than 6 rehash campaigns. And you'll have to adjust this based on your market. But by this, you're getting way too many no answers. You're going to get flagged 10 DLC ATP. Okay. And you're going to get shut down. Okay. So you got to watch that no answer rate. So instead, once you hit above 6, okay, you need to move those to direct mail at minimum. You should be mailing them every single month, but if you get above 6, convert them to direct mail campaigns for long term. Okay. Important there. For at least another 6 direct mail attempts or whatever. And from there, you could always reskip and call through them again, or there's a lot of deep prospecting. There's a lot of other things to do after that. So, what does this look like? Well, this would be a really hard one to draw out. But essentially, it's anybody who has a property status who doesn't have a property status yet. So, no property status. Okay. Because you haven't reached them yet. All right. And whether they've been sent direct mail or not is kind of depends on what you're already doing in your business, but no property status, meaning you haven't reached them yet and they're on the list that you're focusing, right? List that focused. Okay. And we're going to send mail to those people. All right. I'll show you this in my account. Okay. All right. So the next one is invalid contact information. Okay. Now, again, in first to market, if you follow the first to market strategy, and you follow the filters that I've shown in the first market challenge, you're getting these people automatically. Okay. These are automatically should end up inside of your process. For anybody else, right? If you're doing a bulk cold calling right now and you're doing a lot of bulk dialing, you need to filter by these people specifically. Okay. And find them. So this is going to be your property or I'm sorry, your phone statuses. Include all. Okay. Uh, Wrong DNC, DNC, uh, dead, and let me look at the filter really fast. I think I'm missing one. Oh yeah, and wrong. Thank you. So you're going to include if it includes these and the property status is not a lead, right? Then I need to send mail. Obviously, also if it's not sold or something else, right? If it's everything, and if it's everything besides a disposition that you know what's happened to the property, you need to send mail to them. Okay, so this would be what are the statuses that we know that something's happened? Solds, we know we don't need to send mail. Not interested. Again, how can it be not interested, but you not have a phone status of correct number, but it happens, right? Solds, not interested, listed, buyer, whatever other statuses. I mean, I can't really say for certain because you might be doing something different. But if it's a property status, say do not include any property statuses that mean I know what happened to the property, but yet every phone number that I do have is wrong or dead, DNC, basically anything other than a correct number. Okay. The reason we don't add no status here is because that means that we could still call these people. But let's just say that's where this comes in, the unresponsive, because this could have like 6+ call attempts, okay, on this campaign. I could have a bunch of wrong and dead numbers and a ton of no answers still, right? I could have my no answers go here as part of this campaign because this is basically unresponsive follow-ups is equivalent to like your marketing exhausted, meaning I've put them through a lot of marketing. I have a lot of phone numbers that aren't answering. I need to make sure I'm sending mail to those. Ideally, you're sending mail to them every single month already. But if you don't want to be spending that money, then wait until you hit a certain amount of call attempts or marketing attempts and then move them to direct mail instead of cold calling them because you're going to get shut down if you continue to call them anyway because your no answer rate is going to be so high, it's going to break above 40% and the government's going to come down and smack your wee wee. Okay. So we don't want that to happen. Okay. All right. So invalid contact info. All right. And so the last most important campaign is not interested. I think someone mentioned not interested above. Not interested is our next most important one. This shouldn't be unfamiliar to you if you've been through the challenge for first to market. However, not interested, someone was just talking to me about not interested over the weekend. And basically they were talking about, they were taking, if a lead, let's just say you're calling probates, right? And the probate said, yeah, we'll probably sell once probate finishes in 3 or 4 months. They were considering that person not interested. And I'm like, that's a cold lead, not interested, first of all. And so he's like, yeah, but my cold leads, I follow up every 30 days. And since my cold leads I follow up every 30 days, that's too frequently. I'm like, okay, well, then you could create another status for these or whatever, but those are cold leads. He goes, yeah, but I mean, doesn't that make it toward not interested or that much more important to follow up on? I'm like, well, not interested are always important and follow up on, because not interested are really nothing but cold leads. It's just the difference between, especially for like first to market data, because first to market data means that if you're marketing first to market data sets, like niche data sets, whether you're first to market or not, if you're marketing to tax delinquencies, probates, foreclosures, these people are in a position where they need to sell their house, right? If they don't solve their solution. So you got to get in front of them. So if they say not interested, the percentage of those people that don't need to sell their house in the next 90 to 120 days is low. Like most of them have to sell their house. So we got to get in front of them. So not interested is really simple. Like property status is not interested, right? Not interested. And then we're going to use our last date, on here as well. It depends if you're already sending not interested or not, but you need to basically initially it's going to be property status not interested, and you just send mail again. But I'll show you guys that filter as well. Okay. So sending mail to those. So what are the top 5 campaigns here? The most important campaigns. All of your leads, any data that you've skip traced in 2 different locations and you have not got anything back. No phone numbers. You need to send mail to those. Okay, these are like you got to be sending mail to these people if you haven't already for at least 6 to 7 attempts minimum. Okay, so all of your leads, anything that's gotten 2 skip trace providers and no numbers, anybody who's unresponsive follow-up. So if you're not sending mail every single month to these people, for the people that you're trying to call or text and you've already done it for 6 attempts and you still don't have a conversion, you need to throw them in a direct mail campaign for at least 6 to 7 attempts. Okay. For any of your first to market stuff, you should be rehashing this monthly. Okay. It should be happening every single month already. And you should have your filter set up for that. I already taught that in the challenge. If you haven't taken that challenge, I highly suggest you do that and just follow to the T. It fucking works. It's not an if it works, like it fucking works. If it's not working for you, you just got to add in more data. Yeah, add in more county stuff or like get better or something. Something's off because it's already proven it. There's no way it can't be. Okay. You got to look into KPIs. All right. Invalid contact information. meaning exhausted records, what this boils down to. So if you have a property status or phone status is where every phone number you have on that record is wrong or dead and you're not sending mail to them, that's bad. Not interested and not first to market, mail monthly. First to market, do you mail weekly? So first to market data, new data that comes in, we mail every single week. And then also monthly, and then not interested is quarterly. Then the quarterly not interested campaign encompasses any stuff, anything that comes in, no matter where it's coming from in my business, right? And then not interested. Okay. So again, not interested campaign, that's once a quarter. So you're not interested is quarterly. That's a quarterly campaign. You don't send those monthly. Okay, so your non-issues is at least quarterly. Invalid contact information, that's a monthly. Unresponsive follow-ups, that's whenever they meet that criteria. You just got to see in your business. It depends on how quickly you're calling through data, yada yada. Okay. Skip trace 2 times, no numbers. This is really important. Again, that depends on how frequently you're skip tracing and stuff like that. You just got to create the filter and then figure out when data pops up in it. And then leads is a monthly game, right? So every single month we're sending to those leads. Okay. Really, really important, those 5 campaigns. Those 5 campaigns, depending on how much data you're bringing in, will cost you marginal, maybe a few grand a year, 3 to 5 grand, depending on, how much of these unresponsive follow-ups you have. The unresponsive follow-ups is your biggest mail campaign here, and you're not interested probably. So you're not interested in your unresponsive follow-ups are going to be your 2 largest campaign there. The rest of them may be, you know, 500 or so records a month. So anyway, that's that. Let's go ahead and build it inside of a Sift account really fast so that you guys can see what these filters look like inside of an account. Okay. Yeah. After a first mail attempt, you mail monthly. Yeah. Okay. Let me share my screen. Let me turn on sensitivity mode really fast. Property address, mailing address, phone, email. Okay. Screen. All right. So what you're going to do is I'm going to go to my records page. All right, I'm going to filter records and I'm going to build the first one here. So I'm going to do leads leads that get mail here. So I'm going to do property status and I'm going to do include my lead statuses. So I have new lead, no contact new lead, hot, warm, and cold. Right. So this is if it's a new lead. If it's a new lead and we haven't got them on the phone, that's no contact new lead. And then qualified leads are hot, warm, and cold. Right. Okay, I'm gonna do parameters and others. I always want to make sure that I do vacant mailing no anytime I'm sending, also I want to do my last mail status and make sure that I do not include anything with undeliverable or returned. Even if I don't even, that should just be on all your campaigns in general. Some of these maybe you've never sent mail for before to, but all right. And then I'm going to also add on all my campaigns. It depends on which campaign it is, but I'm going to add like your quarterly one, it's going to be different. But I don't want to send mail to these people if I've already sent mail to them in the last month, right? So I'm going to choose my last direct mail date here, and I'm going to say prior to 1 month ago, and then I'm going to go back for like however long the age of my account is. So I'm just going to say 48 months here. So basically from today, I want to go back 1 month and then as far back as I want to look. So prior to a month ago sets the right date down here. So prior to a month, so it'd be October 12th. And then back sets the left date. So this is your right date. This is your left date. October 12th is a month ago. October 12th, 2020 is 48 months ago. So I'm capturing between October 12th, 2020 and October 12th, 2024. So I'm essentially just saying I'm skipping last month because I don't want to send mail to anybody to that, that again has been mailed in the last month. Okay. That's with like any campaign. All right. So this is basically your base. Like for pretty much any direct mail campaign that you send, you're always going to have vacant mailing no. You're always going to have undeliverable returned. And then you're always going to have a last direct mail date. The only thing that changes here is with your quarterly campaigns, you're going to switch this to quarterly. Like, so not interested is pretty much the only one that happens here. You just switch this to quarterly. And then you change the status to not interested. So if I clicked apply on these, I would send mail to these 50 leads because I sent a campaign last month already. So these are the leads that over the last month I've generated that haven't been sent mail yet, right? So I would select those, send to direct mail. I would name it leads November 2024, and I choose one of my postcards that I have in my account. Let's just say let's do that one, right? I click save and I choose ASAP and then I click start campaign. Okay. Okay. So next one, skip trace 2 times no numbers. So on this one, all I'm going to do, I'm going to start with the same base, right? Parameters and others, vacant mailing, no. All right. And then last mail status, rather, do not include, returned, undeliverable. All right. Last direct mailed. I'm going to do prior to a month ago. I'll go back 48 months. Okay. And then I want to add a tag. So tags. I'm going to use the and. I'll do REI Sift skipped and what else do we have? Skip Genie. I don't know if I have a tag for the other ones. I don't know what my VA is doing on this, honestly. I think she just tags the phone numbers. No, we have the other one. I just don't know what she calls it. Anyway, you choose your second tag in there. Okay. And then we want our property status to not include what we're doing in our other campaigns, right? So do not include not interested, any of our leads, because we're already doing a campaign for those. We don't want to do under contract. We don't want stuff that's closed. We don't want stuff that's listed. We don't want stuff that's sold. We don't want stuff that's buyers. We don't want stuff that might be an exhausted status or prospecting status because that's a different campaign that we're going to track. Maybe it's a different mailer you want to send, whatever. Okay. And then we'll click apply. And so for me, that would be 1,189. So that might have been skip. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed something. That's not at all accurate. Numbers, no. Skip traced, yes. Now click apply. I was going to say, that's way too many. 216, though. So, and I'm sure most all of this have been skip traced in 2 locations. Let's see. Yeah, that one has. So these 216, I do the same thing. Select them and send them. This stuff's old, right? I mean, 639 records or days ago, 732 days ago, 748 days ago. The main thing I'm trying to gain from these is return mail. Like that's actually like I want to send mail to these so I get return mail because that return mail is what I'm going to dig into, right? Um, I have a question about this one. If it doesn't, that mean it won't catch the 0 attempts because they don't have a last mail date. It doesn't matter if it about the attempts. Do you have direct mail course or what RSF course do you recommend to get caught up on direct mail cadence? We actually, ironically, tomorrow have are recording the course for direct mail. Okay, let's get to our next one. I have a meeting here in like 10 minutes. Unresponsive follow-ups. So I'm just going to use this as a base here, okay, because the status is exactly what I need. My tags I'm going to remove. I don't care about that. The rest of this, I'm going to put, doesn't matter here. How will you be releasing the direct mail course? It'll just pop up. Well, this one, it's actually, if you've done a ninja bonus in the past, it'll pop up. It should have been invited. If you bought a ninja bonus, you should have been invited because it was part of the ninja bonus thing. It'll be live tomorrow. So if you did buy a ninja bonus in the past, it should be on your calendar. Otherwise, once we do it, once we finish the live, it'll pop up in the academy. Sorry, y'all, I'm kind of losing my voice a little bit. So, okay, so unresponsive follow-ups. We have a property status is here we're not including. It's not been mailed in the last month. It's return mail undeliverable. We don't have a vacant mailing address. And now all we're going to do is add our call attempts in here. Okay. We're going to say, hey, do you have more than 6 call attempts? And then click apply. And so I have 1,127 properties that I've called more than 6 times that I don't have a status that I've reached that I would need to send mail to this month. Okay. Again, I'm already sending mail to these as part of my first to market cadence. But let's just say I was doing let's just say I had data outside of my tax delinquent cadence, right? Maybe, or my first to market cadence. If I had data like my high equity stuff, right? Like how much of these are high equity? Probably not very many because I don't call through high equity, but let's add a list focus here. And let's say it's my 10 plus year single family. Oh, damn it. Let's add a list here and say it's my 10 plus year single family list here. That's only 305, right? What image types are acceptable for direct mail? I don't know what you mean by that. Okay. But so what's important is if you're not doing first market, if you're doing first market, this should be all being captured. But you should also be focused on some opportunity data. Your tax link and your big tax link lists are typically outside of your first to market process. It's first to market, but it's in a bulk cadence. So anything that's in that bulk cadence, that's what this one's most important for, to make sure you're doing. Okay. Now, invalid contact information. Basically, all we do here is we keep everything else the same. All we do is we add our phone status filter and we say, as long as it includes dead number, stupid freaking, got a space. There we go. Wrong number, wrong DNC. Okay, so we don't want to use correct number, correct DNC, no answer, no status. We just want dead number, or wrong DNC, wrong, and DNC. Okay, and click apply. This would be 44 properties for me. And this one's vacant. So this one's one I want a deep prospect to, if I haven't already. Look, foreclosure probate. Ooh, watch it sold. Nope, it hasn't. It's in Shalimar too. Right, so this would be one I want to dial into. 12 call attempts. Right. So this would have actually also got caught like this is why I would suppress out statuses because this would get double sent mail potentially. And that's also why the last direct mailed is important because the last direct mail date is created from the time you start the mail campaign. And so this would, even if I forgot to add this urgent and I created that other campaign first, this wouldn't get wrapped in and get mailed twice because as long as the campaign was finished being built, because the last direct mail date then would have updated as that date. Okay, cool. So that's the other one. So you can see these are all relatively small, right? 40 records, 200 records, 300 records, and so on. They're all small. They stack up and start. The more you market, the bigger these things get, which is why it's important that you utilize your whole data set really well so that you're not really worried about how many records it is. You send it because you know, hey, I'm going to continue sending mail to it because I want the conversions, right? Um, well, when you create a template, you're going to use a PNG like most of the time when doing print, right? PNGs for print. So let's go ahead and send a mail campaign real quick. So it is Tuesday, so I got to send my mail for Tuesday. So how do I do that? Well, because I have a dialed in first to market process here, I know that my first to market data, send mail, this stuff all needs send mail, right? This is all stuff that's new that needs to be sent mail. So 14 records. Well, you can see we've already called through them. That's why the status is all follow up. So we've already reached some of these people. Actually, we haven't reached any of those ones because otherwise it would have showed the status. So I'm just going to click direct mail and I'm going to click create new campaign. I could do it from my records page. I'm just doing it from here to show you all. I'm going to click filter records and I'm going to filter by that campaign. So if you just create these filter presets, all you got to do is come in, create a task, and once a month come in here and make sure you send your mail. Click apply. Select by 14. Oh, my mom just showed up. All right. Enter a new name. This is what week of the year is it, y'all? Someone give me the week of the year.
I think it's
46.
46.
Yeah, I think so too. Week 46, 2024. All right. All right. So first market pool, week 46, 2024. You guys know that's how I do my first market campaigns. Click here. I'm going to select, I send this as my first postcard. Okay. And then we have our, my default information is set up in my settings there. Click save mailer. Boom. Done. Download my proof. Make sure it looks good. It should be a habit you do because you're going to have to select these items to confirm it. Open that up. We got our name, Thompson there. Looks good. My name is Tyler Austin. That looks good. I'm looking at the merge fields basically. I got my phone number, got my website, Florida, cash real estate. Everything looks good. All right. So I will confirm all this stuff looks good. Start campaign. and boom, that mail's going out. I don't change my tracking numbers, Nick. No, I leave the same tracking number on there. It's more important to me that I have the same phone number always for the consistency of them, having the same phone number. We have something that we're going to be doing. How do I say this? For people that are going to be sending mail through Sift, doing template, like knowing which templates are converting the best won't be a problem in the future. You won't use a phone number to know what campaigns are converting the most, because we know what records are being sent mail, and we know we're adding the ability for you to ask the seller a question basically and confirm that that's the postcard that was sent. Because even if you have like two different ones, they may have received a second postcard from you but called the phone number on the first one. So it's really not like the best metric to use. Instead, we can ask them for the number at the bottom of the card, for example, and then yeah, we have plans for that. People can still use a phone number. I just don't like that strategy. But yeah, so that's direct mail right there. Okay, that's 5 most important like direct mail campaigns to send. Again, I'll just repeat them one more time. All of your leads, skip trace in 2 different locations, no numbers, follow-ups, invalid contact information, and then you're not interested quarterly. Okay. I believe mailing the heir's mailing address would be the best case scenario. What is this? It said, I have been mailing deceased for almost a year and have not been getting a response. Yeah, we mail when we upload, when we handle our probates, the personal representative is the person that we upload as the owner of the property. So when you pull your probate list, you're going to put the PR's information as the owner, and you're going to upload and swap the owner. If they're already in your account, you're going to swap those owners. So when you build a probate list, you're going to upload it twice basically. The first time is to upload and add new properties, and then a second time is to swap out any owners. Can you schedule your monthly on the campaign launch that the system will detect if returned? Yeah, so if when you send mail, I'll show you in one of my campaigns here. You can see like on this batch. I don't know if I have any in this batch. Actually, I know I have one on the like in here. We'll go to this one. So on this batch of like 1,255 records, you'll see all these are en route. So these have been scanned by this one's already been delivered. You can see the status of all the breakdown. This one was undeliverable, so it was refunded. This undeliverable one, I don't think would send again. I think undeliverables don't send again. But let's just say that one of these was returned already. Let's just say this said returned. If this is scheduled on a multi-drip, so let's just say I create a new campaign. I'm just going to select random records here, and I select a postcard. Let's do this. If you're doing a actually I can just load this one. For those that don't know, there is the ability for you to save. Like if I wanted to create a multi-drip and say I know I was going to send mail for 3 months to these records, I could just multi-drip it like this. Let's just say I sent mail to these people and this handwritten letter on that campaign, it got updated as returned. When it goes to send this second one, it's not going to send that mail to this person. And we'll in between that time, if it does update in between that time, we'll refund the credit for not sending it here, as long as it happens before we schedule and send it to the print house. The reason that does that is because when a status updates as return mail on a mailer, we automatically toggle this do not mail ever. So if a last mail status updates return, we toggle do not mail ever. Anything that y'all toggle do not mail ever won't get added into another campaign because we check that first before ever mailing. And so that's how we handle that, which is why this won't ever be a bulk action. Some people have requested do not mail ever to be a bulk action. It's not going to be a thing. If you want that, use a tag and suppress it from your tags, because we use that logic, and there will be people that abuse that for refunding mail. And so that's why we don't do that. Yeah, I see that. I appreciate y'all very much. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a while here. And hopefully this was informative for you. But get out there. There was wins today. Follow those wins. Use them to energize you. And I will see y'all in the next biweekly. See you.